What's up, everyone? Netflix stock is going crazy. This stock is down 21% today, and it's been rough. So we have a lot of important things to cover for this stock, and there is an opportunity with this one, and there's something I want to talk about related to Netflix that no one else is even mentioning. So stick with me. We have a good video today. We're going to make it quick and to the point. There is an opportunity, and there's some huge news, so stick around to the end, but let's get right into it. So, obviously, Netflix stock is having a horrible day. It's down 21%. It's down over $100 a share today alone. So there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is that they're not growing like they used to, and they're not growing as much as everyone has expected Netflix to. So we can see that their chart, obviously, it looks brutal. The main reason for this, like I said, is the subscriber growth. So over the past quarter, Netflix was expected to add 8.19 million global paid net subscribers. They added 8.28 million. So that's good. But here's where it gets rough. So over the first quarter of 2022, right? Over this next quarter, right? The market is expecting Netflix to add, or the market has expected Netflix to add 6.93 million subscribers, okay? Netflix said that they're only going to add 2.5 million subscribers in the first quarter of 2022. That's not good at all. That is horrible, horrible news. The market was expecting them to add almost 7 million subscribers, and they said they only expect to add 2.5 million. That is horrible. Another thing is, in the first quarter of 2021, they added nearly 4 million subscribers. So their growth is definitely concerning, and the market does not like that at all. And looking at some of their competition, it's been getting pretty tough lately. So we can see on this chart right here, their market share is expected to decline. Now, they do have a lot of fierce competition. We have Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and so many other streaming services. Like, it seems like every major company out there now has some sort of streaming service, and it's not good for Netflix. And while their market share is declining, it's definitely not a good sign, but it's not the end of the world because the overall streaming industry is still growing at a rapid pace. Now, Netflix has been a dominant player in the streaming industry basically for like the past 10 years and even longer, right? And they probably will continue to, have that dominant role, but their competition is getting pretty rough. Looking at some of Netflix's fundamentals, right? They're growing in great ways in terms of revenue, net income, total assets, and things like that, but their cash flow has a serious problem. We can see that their net income is looking good. Their revenue and cost of revenue has been looking great over the past 10 years. That's awesome. But cash flow is definitely an area of concern for Netflix. We can see in this bottom right corner right here where it says operating versus free cash flow. This is basically what allows them to truly grow their business. We want this to be in the positive, and it's not. It's been in the negative for quite some time. And while Netflix is still in a growth phase, it would be nice if this was looking better, right? Their cash flow is definitely a concern. So while that's bad news, the good news is that they did announce news about a week ago that they're raising their subscription prices. So that should help out those cash flow numbers. So that's good, and that's a good thing to keep in mind, but we need to see those cash flow numbers pop up. In terms of Netflix's valuation, it's not insanely overvalued like some other stocks in the market right now, but then again, they're definitely not undervalued. Like, Netflix over the past couple months, it went from $700 a share to $400 a share. And while that is a steep drop, their valuation is still not the best. Like, their price to sales ratio is 6.2. It's kind of high. So basically, even though Netflix basically said, hey, we're not expecting to add as many subscribers as everyone was expecting, the market itself is still expecting a lot of growth out of Netflix, which, if you think we're going to continue to see the crazy growth that we've been seeing over the past 10 years with Netflix, if you think that's going to continue, by all means, go ahead and buy it. But I don't know how realistic that is, considering, one, the world has been reopening, but also, two, competition is it's definitely eating into some of Netflix's market share. So that's really something to keep in mind. Looking back at Netflix's stock, it's been rough to say the least. They are at a major support level right around $400 a share, but honestly, I'm not loving it at this level. Now, so far we've covered basically all the bad news with Netflix. So before we get into like a full technical analysis with it, I want to talk more about the good news with Netflix. One, they're in an industry that's growing at a rapid pace, and that's always great to see, right? You always want to invest in the companies that are in growing industries, right? As we already mentioned, their prices are increasing, so that should help with their net income as well as their, just revenue and even cash flow. So that's good. And another big thing that no one else is talking about is how Netflix is getting into the gaming industry. So a couple months ago, Netflix announced some pretty big news on how they are, they're shifting into that gaming industry, which I think is a huge sign of, one, the potential for the gaming industry over the next decade, but also, two, I think it's a good sign for Netflix specifically, showing that they are willing to innovate and jump on trends. I think Microsoft buying out Activision is sending a huge signal just across the market that the big money and the smart money definitely sees potential in growth in the gaming industry. So I think Netflix is making this adjustment into the gaming industry at a good time. My concern, though, is I want to see how they actually get into the gaming industry. I know they released a couple games here and there, but I want to see good innovation. You know what I mean? Like, I know Squid Game went viral over the past couple months, and that was awesome. So I want to see Netflix innovating. So for example, if they have a viral show like Squid Game, I want to see them making a game for Squid Game. Or if they have any viral show, I want to see them capitalizing off of their platform and what they already have. I want to see that in the gaming industry. So that's the main thing I'm looking at it. As of right now, their valuation is a little too steep for me. In a perfect world, I would love to start grabbing up Netflix around $325 per share. Maybe we hit that, maybe we don't. So I'm looking at $325 per share, maybe $300 per share. And then more importantly than anything else, I want to see great innovation in their gaming industry. If they can successfully innovate into that, I think that it has a lot of potential. If it's a flop, it's a flop and it's not a play for me. But I'm really going to be watching Netflix over the next couple months and even over the next year to see exactly how they transform and, get some market share in that gaming industry. So that's the fundamental analysis for Netflix. Now it's time for the technical analysis. So we can see Netflix has been looking rough, to say the least. They have an all-time high just under $701 a share, which they hit right around, you could say, November 17th. Right now they're at $400 a share. They do have a major support right around $400 a share, and we can see that they bounced off of this level multiple times over the past day alone, and they bounced off of that level many times in the past too. So $400 is the main support. $500 is the main resistance. $350 is the next major support level. So I'm really going to be watching that. But besides that, I'm not expecting any great movement out of Netflix over the next couple weeks. What should we see some green days? Yeah, we might see a couple green days. I mean, a lot of stocks are at very oversold levels right now, in general. So yeah, we might see a couple green days here and there. But for me, I'm really looking at that $325 to $300 level for a potential buy. And like I said, more importantly than anything else, I want to see how they get into that gaming industry. If they can successfully get into that gaming industry and take some market share, I think Netflix has a lot of potential. I mean, Netflix on a fundamental level, they've been growing at a great pace over the past couple of years. And they probably still will grow, but their valuation is still a little bit steep. So in terms of a fundamental recap, we want to see that operating cash flow and free cash flow pop up. Obviously, we want to see the revenue continue to increase. And just one major concern in terms of cash flow is if we're being honest, really their only time they had free cash flow in the positives was in 2020 when the whole world shut down. So it's for a company as I just wish that their cash flow looked better than it was. And it probably will in the future, and that's just something that we have to watch out for. So with everything being said, I hope you learned something from this video, but more importantly, let me know what you guys think about this stock. Do you think it's overvalued? Do you think it's undervalued? Is now the time to buy? How do you guys think Netflix is going to innovate and get into that gaming industry? Because that's what I really want to hear about. So let me know what you guys think about this one. I'll be responding to all the comments down below, so let me know what you think about this one. If you want to try out the dashboard that I used to analyze Netflix stock, the link will be in the description down below. It's going to be that first link. We have the biggest sale we're ever going to do on this one. It's going to be a game-changing tool. You can input any stock and analyze it within seconds. You get access to over 10 years worth of data, access to full financial statements, and we have some huge things in the works for this dashboard. If you buy it, if you decide to buy it, all future updates are completely free. It's the cheapest it will ever be right now. We have a huge sale going on, so definitely check it out. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching and have an amazing weekend.